It's the long-awaited lecture is here, and this particular lecture no is based on post bi ame hu ye na no Saturday. Say bra penny ame Debra ayewo social media, so it has to do with any papa akwa and somebody they don't go piemu e wo court say person extradite mo e ko piemu e wo USA over an alleged amount bi omo involved in. At this amount no omo believe say omunya every romance scam emu and some no et say it's this video part 1. There is a part 2. I also watch say na be able to me link it, but this video be lead you to part 2 no. Must also be me a subscribe button so no click the bell notification icon so na follow your Facebook, yes our Instagram, yes also Twitter at gossip24.com and gossip24 TV. Now feel free so bet you the comment section our share video so I'm for so any be ahead. It's here go straight to Nkomonimo. It's for those of you are new to this particular story. This story is about Kofi Boat. Now Kofi Boat different from Dada Joe. Dada Joe Nana Kodo Boateng and Kofi Boat Isaac Oduo Boateng. Into mu ina no boating but Dada Joe there ya extraditing about Kofi Boat there ye nya extraditing no oda so a e wo my Ghana mu a de say Kofi Boat and after so Derek Van Yeboah aka Van and Inusa Ahmed aka Pascal okay me previous story me can say football club owner be right okay and after so Patrick Kwame Asare sign nipa for we and I was say omo extradite omo ekopiemu e wo USA but extradition no I also go through a process. And it's a process in and say, yeah, the back court. It's a minister assigning, but I was somebody court. No more they court, no. And every opinion my other brother able post here now no Saturday. Say, Kofi Boat extradition, it's a sweet 10. Now there are 10 significant things are popping up from the last court hearing. Now, it's our court session, no, not Gossip 24. For every single court session, Gossip 24 has been there. But this is the report I opinion may have about it. So number 1, request to go through the right process. Number 2, over raise legal objection over the arrest warrant. No, says so much arrest warrant in 2 months into my journey assembly to July 1st, 2025. Number 3, say conviction of Frederick Asante. We trying to friend Fred Asante USA no. And no they are linking Kofi Boat into FBI for befa Kofi Boat ediako. Now FBI for evidence or multi Frederick Asante to Kofi Boat no because of payments be or more discuss here or more conversation. Now amount no less than $100 million now for can was some name amount no payments na FBI for misinterpreting no 300,000 US dollars. And as I said, a year involved in $100 million. Number 6, and they say Kofi Boat payments no making a legit business and a Kofi Boat a year. Number 7, and they say payments no in Ghana cities. What I say, Kofi Boat I reveal to the lawyers any idea. Number 8, ASL FBI for misinterpreting rates no FBI for more carbon for no or misinterpreting rates no. Enunti and I'm so into my Kofi Boat then I Kofi Boat legit. Number 9, and it's a Kofi Boat deny say why yeah scam be an BBA involving $100 million US dollars. Kofi Boat and BBA. Number 10, and it's a Kofi Boat as one wakasankasa well in sword in the home ebeko piemu USA. And that's why I'm saying that this video is a lecture because we read this 10 points. That's why a PR any communication what you post no as it. But this video is a lecture. This is part 1. Now, part 1, we know, may introduce this story be Ediachel. Me introduce this story next year, we are. Now, I call part 2. Now, the conversations are called court, no, and the interpretations based on all the 10 points every opinion by the balance to Hano. I break it down and normal Ediachel. No one will be a seminal. Echo. Some extraditable and now some more extraditable. It's my main found chassis every this case. Now, in 2021, and Department of Justice of United States of America and the news better about saying bang. So my arresting people back 6 are we involved in scam and half is so fraud. In people back 6 no. Na papa bi ka ho. Your friend no Sadiq Kisi Eduse. Papa bi so ka ho. Your friend phase out. Omo monsem no separate cases. It's here about this particular conversation right. But any part for you or monsem no omu treating as one because omu belonging to the same cell. And Frederick Asante edi ebebe piemu ɛwɔ saa Frederick Asante no mo linking it to Kofi boat no ɛhɔ na ne din ɛhyɛ it's mama the history of Frederick Asante the ɛkɔba ya Frederick Asante din bɛhyɛ hɔ ɛne the Frederick Asante case no reveal yɛ eti na bɛsi wei lecture eti enipa mo di kan chain no this particular gentleman now for the sake of the conversations into no may the representatives what I say me for more pictures angasa but cover the image no ebi no more picture or horrible I'm not going to say it so these are the facts say FBI for a target SARS squad we omo yɛ nipa baako for the odi kan a omo chain no omo chain no in October 2020 in fact the actual date no 18th October 2020 and omo chain pa ya hu no screen so the din Farouk Apiedu a FBI for a channel no na the profile so our LinkedIn or say or no or a founder of FK Investment Group na sa FK Investment Group was here in 2015 and na OBA see o me say date na very very important and na OBA company be a company the FK Frozen Foods it is our FK Frozen Foods no OBA in 2016 na Farouk and na FBI for trailing is high who say Farouk no or controlling bank accounts be brave oh US economy this account no deposit when make it to account no about 18.7 million US dollars and only deposit and for make it to account and now withdrawal say Farouk can make it out of the account no 18.3 million US dollars tienye Farouk in the deposit 18.7 million US dollars and now Farouk the withdrawals 18.3 million US dollars. It's a sasika we about Farouk account in a bisu free Farouk account. And FBI for say no, on investigate sa brand here and friend Farouki or your interesting personality. It's almost starting investigating Farouk no. And no more say from 2013 bepim 2020. Or bra Farouk ibon say business email compromise. Say romance. Say ye cares the more street mun say ye EIDL say ye SBA more street mun Farouk didn't want Jimu our benefited from such schemes way say Farouk no sika 18 point million US dollars na better than account mu na free account mu koni na no say or FK investment then any FK frozen foods na then na no sika way schemes we no nya sika ni free it's a ho and the FBI for started some more flag Farouk in the account. And now Farouk who say FBI for one so no. And then the Farouk started say on also be shaping the cars. And we pay more Ghana. Na kono Farouk ni Jane. Nke FBI for be some babe penalty no ni US hobby. Inti Farouk is shaping the Bentley Continental 2020 model. E be pay more Ghana. Farouk is shaping the 2019 Rolls-Royce Cullinan. E be pay more Ghana. Farouk is shaping the Range Rover 2020 model be pay more Ghana. The Mercedes-Benz J63 AMG 2020 model Farouk shape be pay more Ghana. 14th of October there. Now Farouk company be on or create here edini FK Auto. Not to say no and or their shape sa cars be pay more Ghana. FBI for say Jema Kwe why not doing so Ghana. It's the FBI for taking interest in Farouk in the activities though. And no more who said Farouk and Sanso and Sonya me. Farouk at the one of the victims. Wababe complain say o mas scam no. Farouk had one of the victims a card after plane ticket. They say Farouk had be pay more Ghana. It's a hot and FBI for a hinty border control for say abrante bi ba ye find the Farouk Apiedu o do airport or Monche no airport do be for bia Monche no or be for JFK do a Monche no. It's Farouk do JFK no and no mo che no do GFK no and omo che no sada no omo de Farouk kopie mu and what they ni se beka sada no omo de Farouk e kopie mu e wo ni fie e ma say FBI for kobo search in the wo ho ni night Farouk and omo de kai che no in October 2020 18th of October 2020 naka Farouk dwane aba Accra was shipping the cars in Roma bibi na be pie mu Accra anko dwane na ndie ko be ba no chairman oba be enjoy life and the account and the FBI for channel kwana it's Farouk the first person the FBI for channel FBI for channel Farouk re no mo who say San Farouk frozen foods now say o one ade no the Farouk ne say tio the Farouk ne say omo cash out area sika no on fan back Ghana say bi o de aba debi the other sika ne so the sika ne to say bia enam ana say chicken ana say we a no mo the sika na to nti say sa no na no mo the ato what I say na no na ba be dey e be piem wo Ghana nti enyo no akasa ne sika na ode to nemo victims no esika e no mo de to sa nyoma no na nyoma na ba be dey e be piem wo Ghana nti man be piem wo Ghana na de omo de ahoro sika no money laundering nti omo de sa charge si na ka ho no mo de ball Farouk say kwei nti aya ne so ye cold store or ton nam or import and export esu sika na or de sa import and export no enyo no akasa Farouk ni sika sa what I say enyo no akasa Farouk no esika se beta account ni mu a no mo de atoto sa nyoma no mo be piem wo Ghana no mo huhu sika no nti omo che Farouk no interesting omo che Farouk no right and now a lady on butu the next person they said the next person in this case Frederick Asante nti omo che Farouk in October 2020 and now Frederick Asante omo prepare the warrant the friend say the arrest warrant in February. By 7th of February, no matter prepare Frederick Asante the arrest warrant. 17th of February, crane and Omoko Chief Frederick Asante of Virginia. Now, so online, what they're searching Virginia man sentenced to 9 years in prison for fraud. Ubeho Frederick Asante story no but this is the summary of Frederick Asante story no, and it's an interesting story because Frederick Asante there now communicating through the wife to the lawyers. Madam, Michelle Benisa. Michelle. Mr. Buabi, Michelle Benisa. Now, and now much Frederick Asante no. Almost easy check. Almost also easy $7,000 cash. I want to hold any idea. But this is why Frederick Asante get no interesting. Just say Frederick Asante no much ya. No ejuma no be shame from 2016 to 2020. Frederick Asante. You trying to friend Asante no. Obe shame ejuma from 2016 to 2020. Frederick be shame ejuma within that period no. Or created 13 bank accounts. 13 bank accounts are credit Frederick created no. Emu 9 the personal account. Emu 3 a business account. And about could you create ye will be demo. Nasa accounts na Frederick 1 month term. Farouk about 2013 2020. Frederick about 2016 to 2020. Frederick a man term no. Sa period ni no. FBI for chia sika omo deposited to Frederick account mo kwa no. $36.4 million. That is a public information. But so called Frederick any personal indictment document ma. FBI for chia Frederick sika or no akasangasa physically or interacting with no around $27 million. And at your withdrawal from the account no about $27.2 million. And this is in Frederick the personal indictment document. Sanewo. Now, FBI for Chief Frederick, right? This is one interesting thing in pop up say. Now Frederick eja na omo fight say KB and combine bill dia mara ni ade. But FBI for raise an important issue. I say, your lord, Frederick go be or control 13 bank accounts onye easy sir because Sir Frederick Asante we. You kai very well. Say as far back as 2006. Yeah, channel. Frederick say okay. No Frederick no say what kai masa no say I be kai. Now Frederick smuggle endubone 1 kilogram. And they may pay more US here. Now Frederick smuggle endubone 1 kilogram. And they may pay more US here. Now why Wall Street to be as far back as 2006, one of chairman no just omo akra right omo che baako e be a foolish case me body panidi and na Frederick ne so che no 2006 no for sa smuggling operation e course no ye che no wie ye any ombe pre-bill based on the plea agreement on ya buy any koya ni ade no Frederick ne so dwane ko pie mu wo Ghana 2006 no obe pie mu wo Ghana ha obe pie mu okose Ghana ho 2006 no you na onim so okose Ghana we ekwa no osaso smuggle du boni ni bibio esaso by US osaso smuggle du boni ni bibio by US just say eche ye che no finally no ansa na obeka na num asem sa pass ha eduro no say kwa na eba eche obi a odwane fi US no pie mu Ghana no o Ghana no osaso smuggle bibio ekopie mu US it's FBI for che no finally no ena ono Frederick ka no masem sampa sa money mienu no no anodi It's your honor. Obi say no. Say or pay bail over side we en fama no. Because what the manner and Kofi Frederick ni omudi dwuma no. Omo Ghana ho. It's all the manner and Shana Frederick. Somebody away penny 2006 the Becca say we are not a young boy. Na somebody away penny and Shana we could pay more Ghana ho bio. Considering say Kofi no omudi dwuma no e Ghana no. Your honor Shana investigations na say. It's Frederick be enjoy no. It's your pa. Lawyers argue so na Frederick esuro ebi ana baro no a Frederick ni yedmo USA no ebi ana ko betata na so be yo no Frederick ni bone enti na Frederick Ghana be piem wo Ghana no enya de bone so na Frederick ba Ghana kwa no one of FBI for ni biom a wo de ne ho maye eni ade by your honor enti wa ma Frederick bill wa Frederick bill. Now again, Frederick lawyers also argue say oh Frederick ne kra na mo say oye fraud na so yes scam no Frederick onye scam na amount ne kra mo tie to Frederick no tie very very important amount na mo dey link Frederick say oye scammer and also oye involved in sa fraud schemes we am bobo so care EID or SB and maybe a romance scam ni business email compromise ni ade $100,000 transaction. Frederick is a citizen of US. On your scammer. Sir, and a Frederick lawyers argue our court about FBI for FIT to prove say Frederick a key member of the group. It's Frederick no, and yes, be $100,000 big. They be on over 27 million US dollars. And a better Frederick account. Say I did the one check crab account one. Now they say about 36.4 million US dollars. Frederick in any packet or your key member. 2016, Paul Amantem or Chair Farouk. It's your honor in Gino. No Mudi Frederick Assembly. Make sure sentence will be a know where we are heading to. On what say Frederick, a real, Kaisa because of Mudi Kai Farouk 2020. And on Meche Frederick, February 2021. Sa February 2021, corner on Moche Frederick. No. And on Moko Chair Branty, my friend Lord Any. Lord Any, dear. Ne kredi Kwame wa ohwe video bia wonim Lord Kwame Enin bia wonim omoche Lord Enin na Lord Enin si o yona me de meka no kre me siramo bone ne de maye but yona na me inno na me naive me nim me nafofo yona me nafofo me kotena me kopie mu e Virginia ene ade nkofo a me ko hu omo na mo yusi me siro me kra ma anya bebre 3 years pe and I made me who jimu and no crown 8 bank accounts and I me create here Mr. Remo 2.3 million US dollars and a family account mo mpabocho bohum bobo eti Lord Enin ag plea agreement e ma say the plea deal no mo de man no eso nini make sure sentence here omo de man Lord Enin eti after Lord Enin no any people akusa no ma che no e na ka ho no Calvin Freeman there omo che no omo started to turn another di nkomo say Calvin when him say wo so ye car dealer any ade but wo car dealership no company ni wo ye dey na wo be because wo USA akra wo no need krata wo need krata and wo ye dey na wo be say car dealership na wo so wo run from I say no say o car dealership ni dey online me talkers no if you go part ni ade no mo see okay yate but wo bank account e wo Citibank wo say so bank account e wo Wells Fargo ebi mo ho bank account with TD any ade but wo sa wo account me don't say na asem wo no say I mean say na asem no say asem na ni say no cheche mu say oh some time ago be nkofo bi man send ni sika so fan toka en fam omo any ade e na sika no Citibank for cashback and a Citibank for fair no a question about scanner and pen onim Wells Fargo there omu close ni account no o man bona mane no mo say masa asem na wo kan do come on here. We one suspect say fraud sika na wo je gu account no. No see one suspect because on the business na all yeah. What I say but a Citibank customer representative and say manager no finance person no and o catch her say I don't know cost one account mu de e looky fishy kakra into your man ni da ho so obi na send the scanner hwa na be fraud na when him say nkofo na no mo send you sika no no mo scamming nkofo and no mo dey send you sika na there no see o me de echie ya Citibank ni pa na catch me no and I may find out say san nkofo no mo send him sika no kwa mo fa so e di send sika no but me de me ni nkwan ya mo fa so no say hwe enti investigator no e catch a free man say hwe I say oh to kwane why say they who nim now they only innocent sika what one na sika ke be da our account ni mu what I say what one can sika e be da our account ni mu over tens of millions of dollars and e be da our account ni mu now who say dia enkofo ni kita no mo nya Ghana for wo so wo to kana de ko Ghana dia enkofo no mo send sika ni kita no omo nya Ghana for omo ina ya abrofo omo nya Ghana for when we are someone is shen bi omu omonya Ghana for nti omo say no sika no ye wo say won pese be ka no kre ye wo 3 minutes ye de be so ye fia but pese me ma wo ti asese san krofo na woni omu de djuma na omo Ghana no they will be dealt with tie o say Amanda na ka che Freeman say I don't need to know wo say woni how omo fa so nye sika no I don't need to know because san krofo no they will tell me exactly how they do it. I need to know your part. Trust me when I say those two will be dealt with. Until me say, Freeman, am I nipa mi eludi? And it's true, Freeman, my nipa mi eludi. Say, Sanko for no, on your mokasai. Say, Sika be say beto on the account mo. Am a city bank for withhold this canal send this carry back to the secondary free. Na a den. And son uncle for never be church mo channel. E di be na Freeman boy and men ka. E di be na Freeman boy and men ka. It's a Freeman boy didn't check FBI for no. Say the pass me see the pass me see. What I say? And almost send me scan. Me from will be some. Say na sa sika we die. Because city bank for more money problem. Me call church and which me nim the America city bank for na money problem. And send am for ni che mu di ache no. No say mu di me ato asem mu. Nti ho e na no Freeman no chia ojaye. Ojaye. But one of the interrogators, our friend is Scott. As winning, and ya woka we no. I found kosi hwe. Ebe ya kaka no kwene che. Because ye nim na Amanda say ye nim the anti-craft Freeman who protect his uncle for you. Because who bisa wo say eba ne say ye hu udi. Eba ne say na wo Freeman ye hu udi. O ka say obi amba udi anje ana. Ti the Amanda kai. O say Amanda bisa ne say I don't know why you are protecting them. And Freeman say I am not protecting nobody. Trust me because right now I am the one here and they are not here. Now Amanda say, how do you think we got your name? You don't think somebody gave you up? Who feel say there be a hoodie? Who feel say obi ambo hoodie and I will protect you for no makano. Pasa, how do come on here hoodie and send me for na watch because there were evidence that. In the end, the Freeman didn't come over here. And nobody Freeman. I can't Lord any home. And then the car Frederick Asante home, aka Fred Asante home. And no more do in aqua car Farouk appear do home. Into your indictment no more pen, and no more chill how Sikaneba. How Sikaneba to account in moi. Almost distributed Sikano. And how I no more washes Sikano. And the pay man call for more gun. And they roll and go for more gun no a play. And after say FBI for analyze the sign number when na. No. No was a order. Court high jinano, and ya going yedi or court how. Ebiana nipa for we if he say a going yedi. Yekita information. Information ni bi wo honoma. Yenya edifi Lord Enin. Ne hard disks so. Lord Enin the computers we use when the ne hard disks. Yenya information ni bi edifi so. What I say? Ni na na eka ye discovery no ho. Transactions on my year ebu be $50 million US. Transactions as our squad we and then conform more Ghana no my no. Ebu be $50 million US. Some information na ya boa no. Na discovery na ya document no. 50 gig. And now se get to so when in files file size so when in 50 gig. Sebi. We keep sebi blue film 1 hour crana and do 50 gig. 50 gig files this size no 50 gig and the FBI for SC omukita omo findings on my year into SARS squad we need conform more Ghana omo operations. Now you wanna say bia conform if you say ye di agra Asante ye ji phone what I say ye ji Asante phone enya Asante nkwa phone ye ji ye enipa mienu wa ha so ye ji omo phone de ka ho into back miensa omo phones no omo fees on my clear phones no. Your Honor, you retrieving no my phone since we na information I gather from phone no chats and the kaka bear 150 gig and in an bars evidence. It's document files and 50 gig and when your transactions and a phone evidence or more retrieve relevant to the case 150 gig. No mujina so e dey ka asem no omo ka asem no kai say me ka so we dey kai che Farouk apiedu first ono na 18 million ebeda na account mu 18 million osaso eyi free na account mu ono say oye owner of FK Frozen Foods and FK Investment yade no Farouk apiedu right or under supervised release based on public information. Farouk apiedu wa under supervised release for 5 solid years. No prison term. 5 solid years. Farouk apiedu 5 solid years. And no more than a 2 year. From 2020 no more channel. Farouk apiedu wa under supervised release for 5 solid years. Frederick Asante in 2021 almost sentenced to 108 months because OG plea deal. Mani would say, Fred, sir, over 36 million US dollars now we are involved in it. Say, I said will sentence a boa. Ube come over 25 years. What does it? Ube come over 25 years. In the bay up in big catcher. And a Fred, OG plea deal no etomu. OG plea deal no tumu. And a US for catcher Fred said, to be sentenced no. For more than 154 months. Almost be sentenced for more than 154 months. Based on plea deal. After so based on plea deal in Swintino. Sika here Fred Nibetua as restitution. And as Sika here over for fitino. Omo money do 9 million US dollars. It's Sika of 450 and around over not up to 4 million US dollars, but a little over 3 million US dollars. No my Fred F450. And almost sentencing Fred to 108 months in prison. 108 months in prison. So 108 months in prison. No? Fred bears 6 years. Full 6 years. Now about 3 years. Supervised. Probation. What is it? Farouk dear. Oh no. The full way on the man no. 5 years. Supervised. No hard way or prison. But Fred dear. No. 9 years. 9 years. No. Bear 6 years. Fincham prison. Na 3 na kano. Waba under probation. And nobody my Fred. Oh yeah, Papa, on Virginia. Saso, Anna Freeman, oh yeah, car dealer no. Oh no, man is 78 months. 78 months near 6.5 years. But Freeman ko patch say, oh, na semo majibu plead yatum. Meaning say me twa montro and 70 bu man kan ye and 70 bu okra mo cheme na mpese me fa kwan bi so bi dwane me bra mo chomo fa mbone cheme. Sam me dey make scientific Freeman so agi plead oni tumu. Emma FBI for 18 years, so from 6.5 years to 5 years and some months. And I some of them are Freeman no 5 years no or on the prison time or no probation. You best survey on under supervised release or but Kaiser Freeman no much USA 101 oni krata into do and no swa on the bono Edna Bagana say no more yes sister Hadia for you. So and about your friend Lord Enin. Ono the amount of or control personally 1 million US dollars, but the involvement no 2.3 million US dollars. Lord any ma memo the ex-girlfriend muni na patrol bi the man no e ma the judge no e ma no 24 months. No mo de ma Lord Enin. Lord Kwame Enin o ma 24 months. Enti se wo hwe se FBI for say omo file size of 50 gig. And almost as well phone conversations, no records. Almost 30 years, almost easy Asante phone. At the car home. Now, messages are retrieving no. Ni na 150 giga. Then your obetia said, Dietia FBI for a link Asante to Kofi boats. Now, Kaibium said the likes of Bulldog and your mama Kakao I mentioned categorically say Kofi boats. Into frozen foods.
One of his businesses I know a cold store. Or a cold store, yes. So he has, I think, 300 direct workers and now 700 more agents are on your Moodily.
FBI foresee frozen foods and after so other means a part of the ways are sa nkofo your more Ghana any iska any to nkofo more USA account mu. Nobody toss anyoma no ebepie mu Ghana e de hu scan. Also, Kai say just like Fred Asante and the lawyer argue you say the only thing nobody linking Fred Asante to the grand scheme course no that's 100,000 US dollars no I just say better friend account Asante account mo. But FBI for to be proved say and yes $100,000 ne kwan. I'm afraid Asante edgy or plea deal no. And no man is that sentence no. Afraid Asante ankasa one of the emails mu e kan say wajiatu on contest bio. Waji sentence ne sa obe serving 5 years na kan because at the time no was serving 1 year opieba bontia no aba be supervised way no for 3 years no. Then they who say was serving the time or Jenny form so any the why no etum. Saso na Kofi boat lawyers argue wa hanomo say just $300,000 payment and a FBI for misinterpreting. Intim pese wo link no aseche. Senior beya yakwa part 2 a obete enkomo na se. It's way just part 1. Part 2 me do be court na you break it down. Court case no. Edi acho.